I got to pull up all my information from the last time that we did this.
Oh, well, get that ready.
We could pull up the information from the 4 times or 3 other times that we did podcast number 1 and probably have a pretty dang good podcast.
If we could edit it all together, we'd have a real good one, because that second one was funny as crap.
Well,
Last one wasn't quite as funny.
No, the first 2 were fairly humorous, and then now it's just boring. That's what's going to bring people in, is boring.
Well, I mean, you listen to these other podcasts, like the one we're doing, it's similar stuff.
Heck fire.
That one we should have been able to use. That we did at the church was funny.
I hear you touching stuff over there.
I'll just move my notebook. Calm down.
Well, it picks up on here, apparently.
Well, apparently.
Seems like we're pretty level. So you say something. Say, well, let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me check your level.
Everything guns.
Can you count? Like 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Is that the way you're going to speak?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that's good. I'll just, it seems.
Is that better?
Check. 1, 2, 3.
I'm good in Spanish. 10, 20, 30, 40.
You can quit trying to do that. I'm not keeping this portion of the audio.
No, but it's funny.
Come on.
10.
What's that here?
L10. That's better.
This is 4 attempts. 4 attempts to create one podcast.
Is it not number 5?
No, this is 4th.
We did 2 at the church.
No, we did 1 at the church, didn't we?
No, I'm pretty sure we did 2. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did 2.
I think we did 1.
No, I'm pretty sure we did 2.
It was 1. I only got 4. I got 3 on here.
I'm pretty sure we did 2 at the church, and we've done 2 here already. So this is attempt number 5. I know we did 2 at the church.
Podcast 2, podcast 3 that we did an hour ago with no microphone on here.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, because we did that. We did that one at the church where we were doing the history of Second Amendment. I was going
I think I deleted that one.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Oh,
so
that was awful.
We did 2 at the church.
Yeah,
we've done 2 here.
That may
so
be
this is attempt number 5.
Attempt number 5 for one podcast.
For episode 1.
that first one we did was horrible. There were some funny parts in that one. That's when you said farm. That was the farm one.
Yeah, that was the farm.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is.
I told you it was.
Yeah, we've done 2. This will be our 3rd one here in our new studio. Temporary studio to the final studio is built.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting closer. I'm trying to get my wife to get all her junk out of there. Moved the table before I left. Come over here. So it's getting closer. Be nice. That'd be cool having everything set. I want to get a little round table that we can have in there. Be a little smaller than this one. It'll look pretty cool. All right. You can start recording.
I'm already recording. It's already recording. I got to do the intro. Don't just say all right and not like you're going to jump into your book. I got to do.
I'm not jumping into anything. I'll just.
So we're going to go intro right into
in the news.
In the news.
And I'll jump into the Daniel Perry stuff, and then we'll do
maybe
gun gear.
Maybe that'll go better this time.
Go into gun gear and then range time. USPSA stuff.
You'll give me a moment of silence. I'm
not even going to talk about that. I'm not even going to get to the BOD stuff. I'm staying away.
DOD stuff.
BOD, Board of Directors stuff at the USPSA.
DOD, Department of Defense. We talk about that. Welcome to Everything Guns, where you might could guess we talk about guns. I'm your host, David. Judy's on the other mic, and today we have a few topics to discuss. So let's get into it. What's up first?
Start off with the Daniel Perry case out of Texas. Last week he was found. I just moved away from the microphone. That sounded good. But last week he was just found guilty of murder in a case where he was driving through some protesters and ended up shooting one of the protesters that was carrying an AK-47. Not to get into the whole jury portion of it or the verdict, but a couple things that stood out to me I thought was interesting. Part of the prosecution evidence that they used was some of his social media posts, which is one thing we talk about extensively in some of our concealed carry classes about what not to do if you're going to conceal carry or carry a firearm around. And one of them is don't make posts on social media that can be used against you. And apparently he made a couple that was used as evidence. One was basically he was talking about a case that happened in San Antonio where a protester got shot, and he made a comment. Finally, somebody shot one of these protesters, and then he made another comment on Facebook about hope he doesn't have to shoot somebody on the way to work. And that was used as part of the evidence against him.
I would have liked to heard how they used that, because they can't use it as proof of any kind of evidence that he was going to do something, but they can, I guess, go to his mental state, I guess.
Yeah, I think they used it as his mindset. He was out looking for trouble. He was wanting
that's what
to,
the prosecutor kept saying. He was out looking for.
yeah. He was really wanting to find something. He's wanting to get a protester, and that's what he did, and that's what they used.
Yeah, anytime you make any kind of post or have any signs in your yard that have stupid sayings on it, like, hey, anybody trespassing will be shot, stuff like that, prosecutors will use it.
Yeah.
Give them something to put to the jury, and it'll definitely weigh in their mind. What are you laughing about? Was that bad there? We're going to start it over.
No, we can start over. I don't know what we're putting to the jury, but fine.
No, we got to start it over.
Let's start over.
Yeah, we got to start over.
No,
we went too far. I can't edit that part out.
We'll just leave it in.
I can't leave that in. We got to start. This is like the fifth time doing an episode. We got
Is I lied to somebody? You said we got to start over.
Well, when it was bad.
Well, it's not bad. It just sounded funny when you said it.
Well,
just
now
let it go.
Now we got. I can't edit all this out.
Leave it in. Just go with it. Golly.
So that's all you had for in the news on your side?
Yep, that's all I got.
Yeah, I got a co-op. I got really two things. One is just talking about some Second Amendment stuff.
No, I think I had something else. We'll talk about. Go ahead. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Interrupt me.
No, I'm just saying I got one more
So
thing.
in Michigan yesterday, they passed two new gun control laws. One was a safe storage law.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, and then another one is universal background checks. So I read a little bit about the universal background check law that they passed. Basically, it added to Michigan law to background check people that bought rifles and shotguns. Apparently, before this law, there were only background checks for pistol purchases. So they changed that. The one that I bring up the gun storage because where we're at in Alabama, we have some bills that are going through their legislature. I can't say that word. Not legislation.
The legal process.
The legislature. Yes.
Yeah, quit saying it. Just go ahead.
Well, I got it. Took me a minute.
I don't know.
So we got some bills that has not made it to the floor yet, but they are being proposed. One of them is a safe storage, and like the one in Michigan, I had a write up on what it kind of said. So the one in Michigan says this. It said gun owners who live with minors who could access their firearms will now be required to store the firearm in a locked box or container or lock the firearm with a locking device that renders it inoperable by any individual other than the owner or an authorized user according to the legislation. Gun owners who enter other premises where a minor is located and leave their firearm unattended in a vehicle must store the firearm in a locked box or container in the vehicle or keep the firearm unloaded and lock the firearm with a locking device that is properly engaged to render the firearm inoperable by any individual other than the owner or an authorized user according to the legislation.
That's ridiculous. Both of those are ridiculous. First off, if I lock it in my vehicle, that's locked up. I shouldn't have to put it in a box. Second, I don't know what second.
That's good. You got two.
I thought that's good.
Well, the problem is, and you get people on, I've heard so-called conservatives, and there was, well, it's just being a responsible gun owner to lock your gun up.
What good is that? What good is a locked up gun?
I mean, you can, obviously, I have a safe and I lock my guns when I don't use them, but it's my prerogative whether I lock them up or not. And then who gets to decide what is truly locked up? Is a stand-up safe what you need? $1,000 safe? Is a lockbox with a padlock on it good enough? Who gets to decide that? Because I can guarantee it's not me or you.
I got a $250,000 house. I'll lock it in. I don't know why that wouldn't be good enough.
That's what I'm saying. It's gun owners. It says gun owners who live with a minor. They don't even have to be at the house at the time when
What about Alabama? What does Alabama have that same?
No, Alabama's written a little bit different. It was pretty close to it though. It's who lives with minor. If your minor lives in your house, it's still the same thing. Yeah, it's still minor. So
that's silly.
So and it's going to require you to lock it up. The problem is, you got to go back to it. Who gets to decide what's locked up?
And how do they determine if you're safely keeping it? Are they just going to determine it by a minor uses your firearm illegally, or are they going to actually do inspections?
No, it's going to be if a minor uses it illegally. So then in Michigan, they have like little steps. If it's if somebody just kind of points it at somebody or has it on them, then it's a misdemeanor for say the parent. Now, if they go and shoot somebody, then it becomes a felony for the parent. But then I don't know how you prove. You can claim that it was locked up, but you can't prove that, right? So there's no way to prove that the gun was locked up and the kid got it and used it. So it's a bad law. They're trying to do it in Alabama, trying to do it in other states. It's not good. It leads to way too much someone being subjective on how they handle it. So.
Well, it all depends on who gets to make up the rule of what is safe.
Who's in power and who gets to say what. So,
what other bills are coming up in Alabama?
Well, we got another one in Alabama where currently, per Alabama law, it is written in that if you have a concealed carry permit, you can as per Alabama law, you can carry a gun on a school premises. It's written as if you have no bad intent. So if you're going on the premises without any bad intent and you have a concealed carry permit, you're allowed to carry a gun on the premises.
I wonder what that does now with us being I was away from a microphone. I wonder what that does now with us being a constitutional carry.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The problem is, there's still a gray area on that. Even though our Alabama law says we can carry it, there's federal law that says you can't. So, and basically all through Alabama, federal law trumps that. So there's still signs posted on every school that no guns are allowed, whether or not it states, no matter that it states in the law that we can. So that's one of the things that they're trying to amend. They're wanting to amend that law to remove that section. So.
Just to be more like the federal law.
To be the federal law. There's a third one where they're wanting to make it a misdemeanor if you lie to a police officer about whether or not you're carrying a gun. So right now in Alabama, if you get pulled over, you don't have to give the information of whether or not you have a gun automatically. If they ask you, then you're required to tell them.
So what's the new law do? I thought
if you lie, they make it a misdemeanor.
What was it before?
I don't think it's anything before. I think you could lie.
I didn't know you could lie to the police if they asked you. I thought you had to tell them.
You're supposed to tell them. I don't think there is. I think that's what the point of the law was.
That's an odd law.
Well, it's just you could lie about it, get a ticket, go on. Nobody ever know if you had a gun or not, and then you don't have the issue of a police officer getting all nervous because you're carrying a gun legally.
Yep.
So now, if you lie about it, they find out it's a misdemeanor. So there's a fourth one that's trying to make it to the floor. I think it's about binary triggers and trying to
it's basically talking about banning modifications to semi-automatic firearms. But when you look at the deep dive into the law itself, it's talking about trigger activators, and it's basically anything that you can do to a trigger that allows the firearm to shoot more than one shot per pull of the trigger. And really, the only thing that does that, other than an automatic gun, is a binary trigger that I can think of. I don't know anything else that does it. It's not a bump stock, because those don't do that.
Yeah, well, I read it like it was a bump stock, and if you go listen to people that are in Congress, they think a bump stock makes it an automatic weapon. So it very well could be a bump stock, since they're legal now, right? Because
they were always legal, but you had to go through the ATF, but now you don't, because that was deemed unconstitutional.
So my guess is the guy doesn't even know about binary trigger, and he's really talking about bump stocks when he has no idea how they work.
I would imagine so.
But I bring it up just because you look at Michigan and you think, well, yeah, it's a blue state, so I can. It doesn't surprise me that gun control is being passed there. But then you here in Alabama, a red state, pretty heavily Republican, and we still have to fight the same thing. So we got to be aware of it.
Yeah, at least on the positive side, we got Florida that just passed their permitless carry bill. So that goes into effect July 1st of this year.
Yeah, there was some
bad things around that bill,
Yeah.
but good and bad. The only good thing really that came out of it is people could carry without a permit, but it did make Florida the 26th state to have some form of constitutional carry, even though in Florida you can't open carry in Florida, which again, like you were talking about, these Republican states, there's a lot of gun laws in these Republican states. Now, Nebraska and South Carolina are also moving in that direction, so we're at least a majority now, so that's good. So we'll see. And there's a few other states that got some pro-gun laws that are going through their legislators now.
Not an easy word to say, is it?
I started to change it and I got caught up with it.
I may take legislature off the
Quit
list
saying
of
it.
words
Just quit
to say.
saying it.
I'm practicing.
You're going to quit saying it. It sounds terrible. That's all I got for in the news.
What's our next topic?
I got some
next segment.
Some gun gear. I wanted to kind of talk about some of it that I've got, some of it that I'm thinking about getting, and then one new gun I just seen come out. I don't know when it came out. It might have come out during SHOT Show, probably so. But it's just
it's proper English. I just seen.
I don't know. Was it I just saw? I didn't just saw it. I seen
I
it.
just saw.
No,
Yeah,
that
go
doesn't
ahead.
sound right.
Don't
you just stop me for that.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Good grief.
Well,
First gear review or gun gear that I got is the holographic sight I have on my short barreled rifle that I use for home protection. It's an EOTech EX P52 I think it's EXPS2. I can't read my writing. But it's got a 68 MOA ring and a 1 MOA dot with a side button operation, quick detach mount, auto shut off, 8 hours if you turn it on with the up button, 4 hours if you turn it on with the down button. And it's got 20 brightness settings. I use it with a G33 magnifier. It has a 3-time magnification with a quick detach mount. Flips off to the side so I can move it out of the way. And so it's pretty nice. I got it zeroed at 50 and 200 yards. Bottom of the circle is zeroed at 7 yards. Top of the circle is 400 yards. And then the 1 MOA dot's 50 and 200. So I can shoot quite a few different distances with that gun.
that's when you use for home defense, right?
It is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the being able to use the lower part of that reticle is helpful.
Very. Yeah. When I take it out to the range, it's dead on. I'll put that lower circle on wherever I want it, and it's dead on. I love that part of it. And I can still shoot it out to 200, 400 yards. 200 yards, no problem. A little more problem with 400 yards with a 10.5-inch barrel shooting 400 yards. That 223 round really drops quite a bit. But I really like it. It is a bit expensive, $560 for the EOTech holographic sight, and then another $500 for the magnifier. So total between $1,100 and $1,200 for both of them.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah. Consider I probably built that gun for about $800, and I got a $1,100 sight on it.
It's not a good sight though. Better than my red dot I got on mine.
Oh, I love the thing. I mean, it's an EOTech. You can't beat EOTechs. And then I've got the one thing I was thinking about getting is a compensator for mechanic. 45 blast.
The SFX.
Yeah. I was going to get for the rival. Then I thought I got an SFX that I don't shoot very often, so I was going to just get one for it. But the compensator is $210. When you got to buy a new holster for another $150, that's a bit steep for something that reduces recoil on a 9mm. Don't really need it. The only reason I would get it is because it looks nice.
Yeah.
That would be
It
the only
looks
reason
cool,
I'd get
but
it.
probably not worthwhile.
But the gun I seen, which is an odd, one of the more odd guns that I've seen, and it's a EAA Gerson MC14T. It's supposed to be, it's described as the easiest loading 380. It's got a tilting barrel, and it tilts up where you can actually you load the gun like you would a breakdown shotgun or something.
Yeah, like a double barrel shotgun type way. Yeah,
You load it.
I got a picture of it up here now.
Yeah, you load that. You pop it down. I guess somehow or another. Does that describe whether it's a striker fire or hammer fire? Either way,
It's hammer fired. Looks like because there's a hammer on it.
then it cocks the hammer when you push the barrel back down with a round in it, and then it's ready to go. It's basically no slide racking required to shoot that gun, and it's geared toward people who have issues racking the semi-automatic guns, which they make other guns, the M&P 380 EZ or the M&P 9mm EZ. Those guns are nice. They're easy to rack. So I don't know. This is interesting, but I don't know if you have some kind of malfunction. I don't know what good that's going to do.
Yeah, if you can't rack it, but it's different. So
Yeah.
Looking at the specs on it, its capacity is 13+1. It's a barrel length of 4.5 inches. So it's bigger than it's long. So it's a full size gun.
Yeah, it's definitely
So
not.
it's not a concealed
compact.
carry. It's not a compact or a concealed carry.
Yeah, which I don't know why you're getting a 380.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm
that
gonna go
size.
full size. Might as well go a 9mm.
Yeah.
All steel barrel and slide. It comes in 6 different colors.
I'm wondering why they didn't make that in 9mm. I mean, if you're making a gun that's got a tilting barrel where you don't have to rack it, why not make it in a higher caliber?
Yeah.
So that makes no sense. I don't think I don't think they make it in any other calibers. At least I didn't see it anyway.
I don't know.
It's interesting. I wouldn't get one. It does have a magazine that has the ability, has a place to put a round in the bottom of the magazine that you can use to load the tilting barrel, which I find that's interesting. I guess if you have a malfunction, you just pop that magazine and use that. There's a video on it. You need to watch it. It's
weird.
Yeah.
Different. Wouldn't get it.
No, I wouldn't get it, but I thought it was at least it's something different that you haven't seen before. So whether or not there's a market for it, it's interesting that people are coming up with different ideas. Kind of like what they did with that alien pistol.
Yeah, that was when there's a market for that. It's just too expensive.
Yeah, I'm surprised more guns haven't come out with that type of action on it, but
Yeah, probably trademarked or
could be.
yeah. So
So that's all the gear I've got. Did you have any gear to speak of?
no, I do not have any gear reviews unless we talk about some gear reviews that we did in the previous podcast that will never air.
The previous 4 attempts at podcast episode 1.
Yeah,
No, your gear review sucked.
they did. Well, maybe we talk about my sling, but I can't remember the name of it now. So
Oh, is that Blue Alpha one?
it was the Vickers,
Yeah.
made by Blue Alpha Gear.
Yeah.
Has the quick release, quick tight down. It's a nice sling. That's my gear review. It's a nice
It's a
sling.
nice thing. I used to have one of those. My dog chewed it up. So I bought one of the John Lovell slings that he's got. I like it all right. I like the other one better. I like the one you're talking about better.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to quickly release it or tighten it. It's 2-point sling. I had a 3-point sling. My first sling was a 3-point sling, and I hated that thing. Like spaghetti trying to get that thing on.
I've got a single point. I don't have it. It's just hanging up. I haven't even used it on any gun. I've got a 2-point sling on another rifle and the 2-point sling on my SBR.
Yeah, I like the 2-point slings better.
All right, I think
For sure.
that pretty much kills the sling talk. Let's move on.
Oh, well, that's my gear review. What's our other topic? Let's look through your little podcast book and tell me what our next topic is.
Oh, I had the self-defense cases we can kind of talk about to see whether or not.
Crap, I forgot about those. Yeah.
I got to move down.
Oh, yeah, it's good when you move away from the microphone and still
Getting
speak.
back to it. Trying to find where I had them wrote down at. There was 2 more cases. There was one case where there's a domestic abuse case where a lady calls 911 that she shot her boyfriend who had pulled a knife on her. When the police arrived, he was dead. So that one's still under investigation.
They did find a knife, right?
I think so. I'm pretty sure they found a knife.
Yeah. Well, no witnesses there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of defense he's going to put up.
My guess is it's not going to be a whole lot.
Apparently, he didn't put up a good defense because
Apparently, he didn't put up a good defense either the first time.
But if
either.
he pulled the knife and she used a gun to protect herself, good for her.
Oh, absolutely.
But
That's why-
apparently there are some other issues with those two. So it'd be
yeah,
interesting.
well,
how
that's
that
probably
comes
why
out.
she had a gun.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'd have been stabbed or worse.
Well, I mean, that's the great equalizer. That's
Yep.
why I tell my wife not to shoot me.
I tell you wife all the time to shoot you.
Yeah, but to carry a gun wherever she goes, my daughter as well. So that was that one, and I had another one where apparently an individual was coming home.
Keep moving stuff around
I'm
on
trying
the
to
desk.
find where I wrote it down. Shut up for a
That's
second.
when somebody was in their house.
Yeah. Seen a burglar in his house. Goes in, ends up shooting the guy. Shot the invader, killed him. This one also is in still under investigation.
Did it say why it was under investigation other than the fact that
No.
he entered the house knowing that someone was in there?
That's what I'm assuming because I couldn't find any more information on it.
Where was this at?
Illinois, which
Okay.
is another thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit worrisome when
I'd have to look that up. I mean, I would have, like here in Alabama or Texas or any state with I'm putting quotation marks around there, stand your ground laws
I think
or
nearly-
castle
I think
doctrine. I don't think.
I think there's a majority of the states have some sort of stand your ground castle
Well,
doctrine
what
law.
I was getting at is you can walk in your house
Right. If he walked
even if you
in,
knew
and
even if you
then-
knew somebody was in there, you could go in
true.
and then shoot them.
Well, I don't think that's true. There still has to be a threat. I mean, you still.
Well, yeah,
you can't
I
just-
get.
I don't think you can just. I don't think that's. I think
I'm not just
disregard
saying
that
walk
part.
in.
Yeah, I don't think you should
Yeah.
walk in and shoot. I probably wouldn't do
Yeah,
that. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that. It's going to be interesting. I'd like to find out some more
Yeah.
information on that.
I mean,
It'd
we're
be
just-
interesting what
We're
Illinois
just talking
does.
about that other case where you don't make social media posts and get you in trouble. I didn't say you walk in and just shoot whoever.
No, I get what
I'm
you're
talking
saying.
if you go in and you
if you feel
threatened to the point of your life, then you
have
legally
you
have the
no
right
duty-
to
you have
defend
no duty-
yourself.
Right. You have no duty to retreat.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I don't know what Illinois' laws are outside your home, but inside your home, I think every state but one has the castle doctrine in
Yeah.
place, which is basically a stand your ground law inside your home.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm not saying just walk in and shoot somebody.
and the only other one I had was a case in New York where the parking attendant seen someone breaking into vehicles, approached them. The person that was breaking into vehicles pulled a gun, shot the parking attendant in the stomach. The parking attendant got the gun away from the guy, shoots him back, and then he gets charged in New York for illegally possessing a firearm. They ended up dropping the charges, but
Yeah.
that's because there was a lot of political pressure put on them to drop the
Right.
charges. But initially, they charged this guy who was defending himself from another person with a gun, and he got charged
Yeah.
with illegal possession.
Illegal, yeah, not for shooting, but for illegal possession. Well, if you
Yeah.
remember when we was in New York, when we did our trip in New York, and we went to that gun shop, in which all they had was rifles and shotguns, and we were talking to the owner there, why he didn't have pistols. He made the comment that if he would have handed us a pistol,
That would be a crime.
that would be a crime because now we would be illegally in possession of that firearm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's based on their stupid laws. That's what they were trying to charge him. But it was silly to charge him. But that's what
Yeah.
prosecutors do. They're trying to make names for themselves or trying to be woke, I guess. I don't know.
Trying to be woke.
Woke.
All right. Well, yeah, that's the three cases. I keep moving away from
Yeah,
my
if you
mic.
stay in the microphone, it'd be good.
I keep looking over at my notes like that. You
Yeah,
see what I
put the
just did
notes
there?
in front of you.
Oh, I guess I could do
I mean, you got like plenty of room.
I don't
so-
have that much room.
All right, so we've done in the news. We did some gear review, talked some cases. So I guess we could talk a little USPSA.
I signed up for the upcoming Alabama sectional in September. So looking forward to that. 9 stages, level 2 match. I think there's probably going to be 100, 150 shooters. It's a 3-day event. Thursday is administration day. Friday is a staff day and overflow shooters, which I should have signed up on Friday. It looks like the size of the groups are like 5 people
Oh, man. That'd been nice.
Yeah, but I didn't sign up because it said staff day. But I've seen some other people that I know. Maybe they're going to be staff. But then there's an all-day shoot on Friday. And they're limiting the size to 10 people. So that's not too bad. You got to expect 5 minutes per person. So about
Maybe
an hour.
you'll do better than you did in that last big match you went to.
And the last major match I went to, which was last year, I got DQ'd.
You got beat by a guy with no arms.
I got DQ'd.
Guy shooting with his feet.
He did shoot with his feet.
Beat you.
It's pretty impressive.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I think
Dude,
there's a
show.
video of it. He was on a podcast
Yeah, it was not,
shortly after that.
Yeah.
Explaining how he does it. But yeah, he has no arms. Shot with his feet.
He mentioned that he beat you.
I got DQ'd. He beat everybody that got DQ'd. He beat.
I need to go back and look at those scores. I wonder if he was ahead of you before you got DQ'd.
I don't think he was. I think I went back and looked at that.
Well, you got DQ'd pretty early.
Yeah, it's like about my 5th stage out of 12 stages.
I didn't realize you made it through 5 stages.
Yeah, I got videos of those. Yeah,
I didn't realize you made it that
but
far.
I got DQ'd for breaking the 180, and basically, my stage plan, I initially was going to move to my left and change the mags as I moved to my left. With me being left-handed, that way I don't move the gun back to break the 180. But I did start it off wrong target, so I ended up moving back to my right, moving back up range at an angle to my right. So when I went to change mags, I apparently broke the 180. 2 range guys yelling, "Stop!"
Yeah,
Crazy people.
Well,
I swear.
I mean, you probably did break it. We recreated that at the range.
I don't doubt it.
At our range, we recreated that, and I know at least one time, the first time you ran it, you definitely broke the 180. So I was backing up because you pointed out.
Whatever. I wasn't pointing right at you. I barely broke the 180.
I mean, you definitely broke the 180 there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what you did it to. I remember.
No, I wouldn't. I've got video of
Crap,
it.
Mom was scared to come out there because you're so
Oh,
lax on
whatever.
safety.
Oh, whatever.
She didn't want to shoot with you anymore.
Oh, whatever.
Breaking the 180 everywhere.
Whatever.
Just swinging the gun around.
All right, whatever. Anyway, so that was the only major match I've shot. So I'll shoot this one coming up in September.
Well,
Looking forward to it.
how much are you going to be thinking about not getting DQ'd this one?
I've shot like 40 matches.
I know,
since
but
that one.
yeah, you've shot those local matches. But I mean, is that going that first stage? That's got to be in your mind, some right?
No, it depends on where the mag change is. I know how to change mags.
Well, I get that, but you don't think you'll be thinking about that a little bit?
No, I wouldn't. Unless you keep mentioning it for the next 6 months or
But
5
I
months.
want to mention it. But think about, I mean, if you get DQ'd in your second big match like that, that'll be good conversation for this podcast.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
That'd be awesome.
Probably quit shooting at that point. I got a goal, though, for that match is to make either master or GM following that match. As long as there's enough GM shooters, if I can shoot 85% of the points of a GM shooter, I can get moved up to master level.
Should we make everyone aware that you are currently a B class shooter?
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
My percent is...
You're going to do master in one match.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's all I have to do is master one. If I can get 85% of the points in that one match, I'm automatically moved to master level. I'm shooting my B class levels right at 70%. It's just
So in your local matches, are you shooting master level?
not right now. That's why I'm practicing 2 times a week.
I'm just asking.
I've shot some A level classifiers.
I can see you going up to A.
I'm doing that. I'm shooting some of those now.
Yeah. I hope you make
what
it.
it matters to you.
No,
I'm more practice.
I'm pulling for you.
Oh, whatever.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you got off C.
Yeah, I was too. That was frustrating. I was about ready to quit if I didn't move off sea level. That was irritating. I don't like the classification system anyway. But anyway, so now I'm going out to the range, planning on shooting 2 times a week at our range, which we've got a range called Clear Creek Shooting where we do some of our concealed carry classes. But I'm planning on going there 2 times a week at least, and then get back into dry fire. One drill I did out there Tuesday was the 4 aces drill, where it's basically you draw, shoot 2, reload, shoot 2 more. You try to hit all A's. My goal is
how far away? 7 yards?
7 yards.
Yeah,
I'm doing it at 7 yards.
I couldn't remember. Yeah.
They've got different times. I use the times listed in Ben Steger's book, Practical Shooting. I can't remember the name of the book.
I
But
think
anyway,
that's it. Practical shooting guide, I believe.
yeah. For a B level shooter, you should be able to do it in 3.5. For a M level shooter, you should be able to do it in 2.5. I shot it in about 2.54 on Tuesday. I didn't get all A's, so it really doesn't count. But I did do a draw about 1.02 seconds with a mag change of 1.2.
So how many A's did you get?
2.
All right.
2 A's, 2 C's.
Yeah, mentioned that yet. I was wondering if you got any A's.
No, 2 A's, 2 A's, 2 C's.
Yeah.
I think my first shot was up high, and my second shot on the mag change was off to the left. So I gotta fix that.
I may run that tomorrow when we go out.
Yeah, I plan on running that again. I want to see what I can do.
I
on
haven't
the
done
mag
that in
change.
a long time.
So I got to get my reload a little faster. I got my draw down to 0.82 seconds, which was shooting A's at 0.82, which means if I can do that, I can get 2 shots off under a second, because my split time on 2 shots is between 0.16, 0.17. So at 0.82, I can get 2 shots under a second. Then I can do if I can do a 1.2 mag reload, now I'm at 2.2, so it gives me quite a bit of time to do that last shot.
So do that more dry fire then.
Yeah, I need to
I don't think you can work on it enough at the range, the unlimited time we're there.
No, I don't. Well, I don't do enough. I definitely don't do enough dry fire, but that's my goal. So I got to start working on my reloads and stuff at home. But that's the plan at the range for the next 5 months to prepare for that. Probably won't even shoot a match before that.
Yeah.
If I do, it won't be maybe one match, and then that'll probably be an indoor match. So I don't expect to do anything else.
So what's left in your little podcast book? Because we're 42 minutes into this.
That's all I've got
Not
for
bad.
today. Yeah, that's all I've got for today. That's it.
Yeah. Rustle the papers. Yeah.
Well, you told me to
Not
look
bad.
and see what I had.
Yeah, well, this one may actually make it to published. This will be,
Make it to published?
make it published. We may actually publish this one.
That's better.
Make it to published.
English is
make
hard.
Make it to a published video. Well, I've seen it. we can go into all our grammar.
No,
I kind of doubt that grammar is going to be what holds us back on this podcast.
Probably not.
Okay.
Until next time. Thanks.
All right. Stopping recording. Oh, I can't say that. That's what that other podcast does.
No, he said, stop the recording, damn it.
You can't say that.
Why can I not say that?
I got to edit that out.
Why can you not say that? I can actually click a button on the podcast that allows us to say whatever we want.